period of time.
Yes, you couldn't be more correct. That really is the way that modern engineering, testing, acquisition, this is the modern military procurement pipeline at work, and you just laid it out so well. So, if you are a part of the scientific leadership group, then you would absolutely go down to maybe the electronic proving ground or whatever the coordinated base was that you were going to do this demonstration. And then at some point, once you feel as though the testing phase has been completed well enough that you guys are satisfied with the results, that's the point when you bring in everyone, including the guys with the checkbooks at acquisition, to make the final demonstration and, kind of have the final plans worked through. So that, to me, it looks like a very standard military procurement, pipeline. I mean, it really does look very standard. The unfortunate thing is what the actual item may have been that was being procured.
And I see that Brian
So,
Harpole is on this one as
oh, you
well.
saw that, huh? Yeah. So, once I had put together the fact that I thought, you know what, I think I know what I'm seeing here. I think for me personally, just my opinion, what I see here looks like a standard acquisition pipeline leading up to a demonstration. And who are the people that we either heard may have been a part of this demonstration or that ultimately may be relevant. And I am not making any allegation toward any person. I just want to make sure that I say that very clearly. But I found some information.
You don't want to
Actually,
get
there is that for sure, of course. I mean, but that's the thing. We have to go max.
they're
Right?
liars and they have lied about like everything. So,
Right. Yeah.
look, I don't care. I've been served in this lawsuit between Brian Harpole and Candace Owens and Mitch Snow, demanding that I hold on to all of my pictures and videos. I've told them where they can go. They can pound sand. Harmeet Dillon and her law firm are not going to demand that I do anything with my communications and with my pictures and my videos. So, anything.
I ran across information, and to me, it just introduces a few questions, and I think that it's worth bringing up because bringing things to the public is really the best way to hopefully take the information and maybe be able to rule it out. I'm really hopeful still to this day that we're able to do that. But as I was going through the Google Trends, and as I was looking for individuals that I thought may possibly be some names, some faces that we are familiar with, because we were seeing a pretty clear pattern. Once I got to Justin Davis, I said, okay, so right about this time, a person with the same name as whoever drove Charlie Kirk to Timpanogos was being Googled. And I felt at that time that I needed to take a look at some of the other individuals who are affiliated with Turning Point. And what I wanted to let you know is that I ran across concerning Google Trends searches in the immediate days up to about a week or so prior to this Fort Huachuca meeting. And they were Googling Andrew Colvett and his boss, Johnny Moore. And that's not information that I was emotionally prepared for. So, yeah. So, that image right there, I made sure to include Charlie Kirk as a baseline control. See, if we think back to the summer last year, that was a time before many of us had been introduced to figures like Andrew Colvett at the very least, but some of us to his boss, Johnny Moore. Now, that is the person who he's worked with for a number of years, especially prior to his introduction into Turning Point. But that is a man who owns and operates the Kairos Company, which is a PR firm, a crisis PR firm. Johnny Moore is the man who runs the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. Unfortunately, that has been a very problematic situation. He is a mega Zionist pastor. He sits, I believe, on the ADL. He is the chairman of the International Coalition of Christians and Jews. He's quite the character. I'm going to say that as politely as I can. And I made sure to include Charlie Kirk as a control because, again, those men, while they were known names, that neither of them was nearly as known as Charlie. So I wanted to, for me, decrease the likelihood that I was just picking up, I don't know, maybe an exciting episode of the Charlie Kirk show, or that he had, recently attended an event and people were Googling folks that they had met there. I mean, who knows ultimately? But I will say that in the exact time frame were individuals who may be associated with the procurement pipeline for a device like that. We're heading to Fort Huachuca. It would appear that someone was looking for Johnny and Andrew too. And the thing that I keep getting stuck on, I have been trying very hard to come up with a reason, to come up with a good reason why someone would be looking for Andrew Kovat in the immediate day prior to this hypothetical Fort Huachuca meeting, especially since he was being Google searched in his capacity at Kairos, which is his partner company with Johnny Moore, not as a Turning Point employee, not as a Charlie Kirk Show employee. He's being searched in his capacity as a colleague of Johnny Moore. I do think that it is relevant that I believe during this time frame, while they were both at Kairos, I do believe that they may have worked for Miriam Adelson, Miriam and Sheldon Adelson, right in there as part of the Friends of Zion, which is a specific, that was a specific company that Miriam Adelson was involved with at the time. But I am at a loss, and that's why I thought that it was important to bring it forward because I truly don't know what it means that they were being looked at while all of these other Pentagon officials were being looked at. I'm at a loss with it, and that's why I wanted to bring it up.
I just want to rapid fire here before we go.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to go through all of these pictures and all of these people and just to very concisely put together who they are and what their functions are, and then very quickly look at the Google image search data.
Sure.
So take us through these people.
Sure. So that is Shahab Chaudhry, and he is in charge of acquisitions at the Pentagon for special weapons and programs. That is Bradley Hansel. He is not only the Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence and Security, but he's also the DDI, which is over the Department of Intelligence. That is James Ruoko, and he is the man who signs the checks that Shahab Chaudhry has actually made out for him. So they work in tandem. They're both a part of defense acquisition for special weapons and programs. They are who exactly you would charge with, I don't know, paying for a very high level advanced drone system or a high level advanced small device, an extra small shape charge anti-personnel munition. That's who pays for it.
And those three people who operate in the capacity that you just described were all searched from Sierra Vista, where Fort Huachuca is located. And they were searched starting in the middle of June for Brad Hansel under a specific title, and then again in a cluster under a variety of different ways. And again, these are web searches here.
That's right. And if you go on, you will see that he was in addition to that, he was being searched as the DDI. That piece of information allowed us to find that he was being searched in his capacity as the DDI. That's kind of his side gig, maybe you'd say. That's his additional role. Now, after finding out that he was being searched at Fort Huachuca or the surrounding area as the DDI, what that did is that allowed for me to take a look at who his colleagues are in that specific department. And that was where we came across all of the individuals that are associated with the DIA. And that is the Defense Intelligence Agency, the folks who take things like pagers from Lebanon and try to copy that technology for American use.
And those people all appeared in these Google searches in an overlapping way. I mean, I'm talking about like a week before Charlie Kirk was murdered.
That's right. And in the immediate days prior to what may have been a meeting at Fort Huachuca, including the chief of staff, the both deputies, and all of the gear tech bosses. That is exactly who is being image searched at Fort Huachuca. That's usually something that they do when they want to bring the specialty personnel on post. junior enlisted need to go and pick that person up and escort them. And so what they often do is they will take a peek at folks like Christine Boline. She is one of the deputies for the Defense Intelligence Agency, as well as her colleague, who I think bears a little bit of a striking resemblance to Cabot Phillips, but
He
that's just
does. He
me.
really does.
It was pointed out to me by